Captain on the bridge.
All right, good evening, Caps. We are back here on the bridge again, and this time we are building out our KELVIN Connie, also known as a Connie with a K. And this is the ship we're going to be using this weekend in our upcoming Enterprise theme stream. So what we're going to do is go over the builds, weapons, space set, consoles, stations, traits, and doffs, and then take it to an ELITE Argala and see how it does. And let me preface by saying this ship is just built to have fun and emulate essentially what we would see, in the Kelvin timeline movies. So I'll start here. So pretty easy. Here in the fore and aft, we have 3 Kelvin timeline photon torpedoes, which are all rolled to crit DM damage 3 with the reload mod. We also have the Kelvin timeline phaser emitter, and that's again fore and aft. Space set, nothing too different. The Elite Fleet Intervention Photomatter Deflector from your colony, your Prevailing Innovative Impulse from your competitive rep, your Mycelial Harmonic Matter Antimatter Core, and the Tilly's Review Pending Modified Shield, both from the Discovery rep. Devices, we have your Red Matter Capacitor, Temporal Negotiator, your Kobayashi Maru Transponder, Torp Candy, which is the kinetic amplifier, batteries, plus 30% bonus projectile damage for 20 seconds, not that bad. Our subspace field modulator for some damage resistance. For our consoles here, we got the Lorcator, or the Lorca's Custom Fire Control, which is from the Discovery rep. The Dynamic Power Redistributor Module, or DPRM, from the Atlas, paired up with the Point Defense Bombardment Warhead, which gives you plus 25% projectile damage and 1% crit chance, but both of them together give you a bonus of plus 33 phaser damage for directed energy weapons. So even though that this is a torp heavy build, we still put our KT phasers on there, so that's going to help those. We also have the binaural infusion circuits, which is from the Low-Buy store. We are going to be using opening salvo. When you fire this console, this is from the Titan, and this is from the C-Store. When you fire this, it almost looks like Kelvin torpedoes, but I love this console because when you shoot them and use them, it actually takes down shields of your enemies. So we're going to use that, plus it gives us plus 21.4 Starship weapon specialization, which improves our crit chance with our weapons. Next, we're going to be using the broadside emitter arrays, again, to help out with, one, to give us plus 90% cooldown reduction on our captain abilities, but also give us the more phaser look when we're broadsiding our NPC enemies. We decided to use the Ordnance Accelerator, which is from the Gamma rep. It gives us plus 26.3 projectile weapon damage and phaser damage. That's what we're using this console for. We're going to be also using the Tri-Cobalt Tear Launcher, which is from the T6 Steam Runner. Gives us plus 19% torpedo damage and plus 47.5 Starship Shield Pen. And really, when you fire this, this also looks like KT photon torpedoes. And for our tactical consoles, we just got 4 vulnerability locators, which give us plus 2% critical chance and plus 34.5 torp damage, and this you can get from your fleet spire. Our traits, we got a good day to die, superior projectile training, into the breach, intelligence agent attaché, inspirational leader, resonating payload modification, self-modulating fire, Terran targeting systems, unconventional systems, and the Boimler effect for our cooldown, our bridge officer abilities. Starship traits, we have Assault Formation Theta, which gives us an additional high yield 3 when using attack pattern Omega. Ceaseless Momentum, Universal Designs, which gives us plus 2 crit chance and plus 10 crit severity when using Universal Consoles, and it stacks up. We're going to use ETM, that gives us our back-to-back torp spreads when using Fire at Will and Can Scatter Volley. subspatial warheads, and we are going to be using piercing projectiles, which gives us, upon torpedo firing modes for 15 seconds, gives us plus 200 shield, pen, and starship hull pen. And then for our stations, going left to right, top to bottom, again, you got fire at will, cannon scatter volley, high yield 3, distribute targeting, chemosite, and attack pattern omega. We have structural integrity collapse, emit unstable warp bubble, which gives us our cooldown for our unconventional systems, for our universal consoles, concentrate firepower 3, and call emergency artillery 3. Emergency power to engines, and then our last 2 uncon procs in our psi station, you have jam targeting sensors and scramble sensors. For our DOFs, nothing too different than what we've been using. We have 1 energy weapon officer that gives us crit severity from firing energy weapons, and 3 projectile officers that give us crit severity when firing projectiles. And then we have also the emergency con, recharges evasive maneuvers when we use emergency power to engines. And of course, Brad Boimler, because he's awesome. So that's the build, trade stations, and consoles, weapons. We're going to take her into an Elite Argala just to show what this cannon build can do. And yes, that's cannon with 1 N. And we are just going here for looks. All for the looks. And I just saw an Enterprise J with Slime Devils on there. I'm shaking my head. I'm shaking my head. Okay, here we go. See how she does. Pretty good on cooldowns. I got a high yield 3 coming up. Look at those Kelvin torps. Just lovely. Just destructive. Love it.
You have entered an area.
Got that first group. Here we go. We're going to fully buff up here for this group.
Let's go over and ask if their boss might come out of hiding.
Woo. Broadside emitters, there you go. Just add that little bit of punch. And she's very maneuverable. That's what I love about her. One more ship over there. Love those torps. One of my favorite torpedoes in the game.
Separate them and whittle down the... We will not go quietly.
Oh, really? We still got our Kelvin phasers going on. And yes, this is how I fly my ships. Like a chicken, like a headless chicken. Okay, we're gonna fire our opening salvo here. Broadside emitters, opening salvo.
You will stand down and surrender to the Benthan Guard. Sensors are picking up small habitations in some of the asteroids, possibly consistent with bolt holes, temporary hideouts.
Whew. It looks so pretty. And I'm sorry, I do love flying away from targets and shooting photons out of my aft.
We do what we want, where we want.
Look at the speed of which those photons fire.
Picked up a tight beam transmission on a new frequency. We're jamming that spectrum of their comms now, but it was probably a call for assistance.
No, that looks cool. Probably just tickling them, but that's okay. It's all for the looks. See, even without a lot of heals, it being a cruiser, she still has a lot of HP to go through. Like right now, she's at 131k hull. And this is on Elite. Okay, last group. Come in. About. Take the shields down. Last one. There we go.
Excellent work. We'll send over a pacification party. Take the suspect.
Easy peasy. Let's just go over here for a sec. Give our thoughts on this build. Actually, we're gonna park
Thank
for
you for your
Shelby.
assistance. And
One sec there, Benton Guard. So there she is. She did really well. Again, I am not the best ship builder in game. I tend to build my ships more to cannon with 1N on-screen accuracy and using a little bit of head cannon myself, you know, to make these ships work for me. Are they going to be on the top of the DPS boards? No. Especially the type of builds that I do, but it's just for fun. Okay, that's what we want to do here on the bridge, is just build ships for fun and have fun flying them. So there she is. That's the build. This is one of the ships that we'll be using in this weekend's Enterprise theme stream. And at first I didn't really like this ship, but it did grow on me. There's a lot of things that I didn't like at first, but the overall silhouette screams Enterprise. And that's why. And you know what? With the command specialization, it did really age well, because you can even make this some sort of a tank, even just for channel runs, because you're going to have access to suppression barrage 3, which, you know, negates the damage of your NPCs by like 50%. But this build that we're going to be using, it's using the Kelvin time and photons and the phaser for the looks. That's the build. Highly recommend if you can get this ship to do so, Caps. It's a great ship. Fun ship to fly. Very maneuverable. Can take a beating and can give one too. So we're going to call it there.
Permission to disembark, sir.
Granted.